Please welcome Mesa Chamber of Commerce Board Chair, Craig Lohman.
Good morning. Welcome to the 2016 Mayor's State of the City Breakfast. I'm Craig Lohman, Chair of the Mesa Chamber of Commerce. We are excited to be presenting this important event again this year, and I'd like to begin by recognizing a few special guests in the audience. Please hold your applause until we have recognized all these guests. With us today are the following elected officials: Mesa Council members, Vice Mayor Dennis Kavanaugh, Council Member Dave Richens, Council Member Alex Finter, Council Member Chris Glover, Council Member David Luna, Council Member Kevin Thompson. Former Mesa mayors Scott Smith and Keno Hawker. Other Valley mayors and vice mayors: Mayor John Lewis of Gilbert, Mayor Mark Mitchell of Tempe, Vice Mayor Corey Woods of Tempe, Vice Mayor Jordan Ray of Gilbert. Other Valley council members: Gilbert, Council Member Bridget Peterson, Council Member Eddie Cook, Council Member Jared Taylor. From Chandler, Council Member Jack Sellers. State senators with us today: Senator Bob Worsley, Senator David Farnsworth, Senator Andrew Sherwood, Representative Jill Norgard, Representative Juan Mendez, Representative Celeste Plumley. Also from the Maricopa Board of Supervisors, Supervisor Steve Chukri, Supervisor Denny Barney. From the Governor's Office, we have Kirk Adams, Chief of Staff. From the Corporation Commission, we have Commissioner Tom Forsey. From Congressman Salmon's office, we have Chuck Gray. From Senator Flake's office, Buchanan Davis. And Mesa City Manager Chris Brady. Thank you all for attending. We also have a great group of sponsors that help make it all happen. There are more than 25 this year, and you can see them on the screens behind. We'd like to thank you for your continued support of the Chamber of Commerce and the Mayor's Breakfast. And having said that, I think Mayor Giles might be on his way right now.
It's been a busy year, and looking back, I'm glad we've accomplished so much.
Please welcome Mesa Mayor John Giles.
Thank you. Wow. Riverview is a long ways from here. I don't know.
No, Mesa's a big, stinking city, my goodness. 140 square miles, something like that. But thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. And thank you for being here to help me celebrate Mesa. What a great city we are. We got a lot of great things going on. I've only been the mayor for still like about a year and a half, so people still ask me on a regular basis, how do you like being the mayor? And I have to tell you, I love being the mayor of Mesa, Arizona. This is the best job anyone could have. Being the mayor of your hometown is as good as it gets. Being involved in a cause and a community that I'm passionate about. Every morning I'm excited to get up and go to work, and every night I pinch myself and think about all the really cool stuff I got to do. So the first and maybe one of the most important things I want to say to our community is thank you for letting me have this opportunity to do something that I really love to do. Also, it's important that I thank the Mesa Chamber of Commerce. We are at a meeting of the Mesa Chamber of Commerce this morning. Isn't it a lot of fun? When I started my business in 1995, the first thing we did was join the Mesa Chamber. And if you are not a member of the Mesa Chamber, I'd encourage you to do that. I've found it to be a very rewarding experience, and I'm sure you would too. Also, I want to thank the dignitaries that are here. I know they were recognized earlier, but I'm grateful for your attendance, ladies and gentlemen. We're honored by your presence. I also like to thank my beautiful family that's here. And my wife is telling me I need to adjust my tie. Thank you very much. All right. Does that look? Okay, all right, thanks. And of course, the Mesa City Council. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here. A lot of the things that you saw on that videotape, some of the bragging points for our community, that's as a result of the great work of our Mesa City Council. So if you don't mind, I'd like to take just a minute to recognize them individually. Vice Mayor Dennis Kavanaugh. Isn't that a great picture? This is Dennis at the Carden Children's Hospital. Dennis annually does a great toy drive, and this is a great picture because it kind of tells that story as well. Dennis, I know you're here. I saw you earlier. Thank you very much. Dennis is our vice mayor. Dennis was recently named Mesa Man of the Year. That is an honor that is long overdue and very well deserved. Dennis represents the Fiesta District in Mesa. Fiesta District has been the subject of a lot of really great things, particularly in the last year or so. And all of those things are directly, they have Dennis's fingerprints all over them. So Dennis, thank you for your great service as our vice mayor and on the council. Councilmember Dave Richens. Dave, thanks for being here. That's another, the photos, I think, kind of, Dave picked this out, okay? So don't blame me for that photograph. I think this picture, though, does capture that Dave is someone who's very enthusiastic, particularly about Riverview. You can see Dave, his fingerprints are all over that great part of our city. Dave, prior to service on the Mesa City Council, was also deeply involved in neighborhoods and helped form the West Mesa CDC. Truly cares about neighborhoods. And so again, has left a very deep and significant mark on our community. Former Mayor Alex Finter. There you are, Alex. How you doing? That's a great picture of Alex, too, isn't it? Yeah, I think if I ever had a picture of that, I'd do the same thing. Former Mayor Finter and I have been friends. Literally, I could show you elementary school pictures of me standing next to Alex Finter. He's been a great friend for decades, and also a great champion of the central part of our city. Prior to serving on council, Alex had a great career in public safety in our community and was a fire captain, and that passion for public safety has continued into his council service. He serves as our public safety committee chairman and has made really is leaving a legacy in our community of great achievements in public safety. Those three gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, are termed out. This is their last year of service on our city council. So if you would do me a favor, a personal favor over today and going forward, please do your best to express your appreciation to these folks for the great service that they provided our community. They're not quite dead yet, to borrow a line from Monty Python, so they still have another year. So, I mean, let's not eulogize them too quickly, I guess. Councilmember Glover, thank you for being here. Councilmember Glover, like me, is a Mesa native and has kind of grown up with a real passion for our community. He represents our downtown area. And I'm particularly grateful to Councilmember Glover for his service in a lot of very key places in our community. One of them being co-chairing our task force on veterans homelessness. He's done a great job on that, and we'll be talking a little bit more about that later. David Luna. David is just a very helpful guy. If you're a constituent in David's district, you probably know him well, because he's great at helping his constituents and reaching out and showing his compassion for people. He also works on a lot of the big issues in our community, like trade and wellness. And another huge thing that he's doing for us right now is chairing our early childhood education task force, which again is something we'll talk about in just a minute. Thank you, Dave. Councilmember Thompson, again, this is a great picture of Councilmember Thompson. He's the perfect guy for representing District 6. Councilmember Thompson comes with a strong business background. District 6 is the southeast part of our community around the Gateway area. And a lot of the really exciting things there, Mr. Thompson's right in the middle of. Particularly, we have this great Elliott Road corridor, high-tech corridor, where Apple is located, Signal Butte and Elliott. That whole corridor, Kevin has really been very passionate about, and the advancements and things that you see along that road for the next generation are going to be in large part due to the work that Mr. Thompson has done there. Another great thing about Kevin is he is a veteran, and so he's co-chairing our Veterans Task Force along with Mr. Glover. And again, we'll talk about that in just a minute. So Kevin, thanks for all that you do for us. And then I think it's also important that I recognize Mr. Brady. Chris, you're in the room, I'm sure. There you are. Chris Brady is our city manager. Mesa is a big place. There's a lot going on. If you think about it, we're kind of a soup to nuts organization. I mean, we answer the phone when you dial 911, and we pick up your garbage, and we spray water on your lawn, and the streets work. So it's a very complex organization, and Mesa City staff does a great job of managing this very large and complicated thing we call the City of Mesa, and that's due to the great leadership of Mr. Brady. So we're a very frugal operation, we're a very efficient operation, but I think we do a really good job in providing services, and that's due to the organization that Mr. Brady manages. So thank you, Chris, for your great work. So I know it's early, I know everybody needs to get to work, so I promise you we're going to be very, we're going to hurry through this to make sure that we get everybody off to where they need to be on time. What we're going to try to do this morning, I guess I shouldn't speak in the plural, should I? What I'm going to try to do this morning is look back on 2015, some of the really great things that have happened in Mesa, but then also look forward and talk about 2016, what we want to do, what our priorities are as a community, how we want to achieve those things. You may know that I've kind of coined this phrase of Next Mesa. Next Mesa is this idea that we're a good community, but let's not be satisfied with the level we're on now. Let's try to take our community to the next level, or the next Mesa. So that's kind of the theme that I look at in trying to set some priorities for our community. I would say that 2015 is a year that would be characterized as growth and progress in the city of Mesa. First, let's talk about one of the areas that we've grown, and that's in the size of our population, the people. As you know, our whole country has been in the midst of an economic downturn for quite a while. That certainly took its toll on our part of the country, and Mesa has not been growing a lot in recent years. Well, things changed last year. We grew by about 7,500 people. That was particularly evident, our growth, in the area of new single-family home construction. Last year, 2015, new housing starts were up by 84% over the previous year. That's a pretty significant increase, isn't it? Particularly our master plan communities. I saw DMB here earlier. Eastmark, there it is. They paid for that commercial. Not really, but you'll get a bill later, I promise. Eastmark is a great example of how our city is growing. They're the fastest growing community in the state of Arizona. I used to think they were the 8th, but they're actually the 7th fastest growing community in the country. And they decided they're going to skip right over 6 and go to 5, which was what we were talking about earlier. So, and right next to Eastmark, you have Cadence is a great community that's coming online, Lehigh Crossing, others. Literally, in the new housing developments in the city of Mesa, homes are selling as fast as they can be constructed. I think that's a great sign that we're an attractive community and we're attracting a lot of new people. The same is true in our existing neighborhoods. I was talking to Councilmember Richens a couple of days ago, and he said that the homes in his West Mesa neighborhood are selling as fast as you can put a sign in front of them because of all the employment in the freeway corridors in West Mesa. So my family's favorite television show, I don't know if you watch it, is Fixer Upper on HGTV. I think we could be the host of a great Fixer Upper season in Mesa because there's a lot of activity, a lot of people coming to Mesa, a lot of people reinventing Mesa and rejuvenating our neighborhoods, both the new neighborhoods and the existing neighborhoods. Another area that I would love to talk about and that I think reflects the character of our community is service, particularly in the year 2015. I like to tell people that Mesa is one of our core values as a community is compassion for the less fortunate. If you look around the state of Arizona, a lot of the great human service agencies that are doing a great job throughout the state got their start in Mesa. And I think that reflects really this character of our community. And one of the ways that was evident this last year is in the Veterans program that I mentioned earlier. If you don't mind, I'd like to just tell you a little bit about it. Last March, we accepted a national challenge called the Mayor's Challenge to End Veterans Homelessness. I was fortunate that we had Councilmember Glover and Thompson who were very excited to chair that task force. What happened as a result of that is a collaboration of over 24 local agencies, including Community Bridges, Save the Family, the VA, Paz de Cristo, and others. And we tried to identify and house all of the homeless veterans in our city. We got to be good at it, and so we reached out to our partners in the communities of Gilbert and Chandler and Queen Creek, entered into intergovernmental agreements so that we could help them with the same challenge. As a result of that, ladies and gentlemen, we housed over 70 veterans last year in the city of Mesa. So thank you to everyone on council in this room that was a part of that important effort. We kind of developed a reputation nationwide as a community that's good at that, and so as a result of that, I was named one of the co-chairs along with the mayor of New Orleans in the national campaign now to end veterans homelessness. So this is, and we're on the cusp as a community of declaring functional zero in that area. Of course, it's an ongoing effort, and now that we've figured out how to do it, we hopefully we'll be able to do it more efficiently going forward. Also, the Mesa Chamber of Commerce, I should mention, is very passionate about this issue and has been very helpful on that. On the topic of service, I just can't talk about service in Mesa, Arizona without mentioning an agency that's very important to me, and that's the Mesa United Way. The Mesa United Way is celebrating its 95th birthday this year. This is an organization that was started in 1921 by one of my predecessors, Mayor Kleinman. And in 1921, Mesa was a city that was experiencing some needs. The school children were showing up hungry. A lot of the immigrant children were showing up wearing rags. And Mesa responded to that. It was a call to action. And they said, that's not the type of community we are. We're going to respond to that situation. So as a result of that, the Mesa United Way was started. If you personally or in your business to this point haven't been engaged in the Mesa United Way, I would encourage you to do that, because I think that, again, is a good reflection of our character as a community. Another good reflection of the character of our community is our strong faith community. I think every city has strengths and weaknesses. One of the great strengths of Mesa, Arizona is our faith community. It's a very diverse community, but it's also a very engaged and caring community. I'm very proud to tell you that we as a city government, work very closely with our faith community. We do that through an organization called For Our City, which is headed by Pastor Linda Mosier. We'll be having an interfaith prayer breakfast later this month on the 23rd. So if your faith community is interested in being more engaged with us, we'd invite your attendance at that event. Again, on the topic of service and diversity, I think it's important that I remind everyone that we have something in the city of Mesa called the One Mesa Pledge. This is how we demonstrate to ourselves and people outside of our community that we are a caring community and a community that invites everyone, that we recognize the importance of diversity and being friendly to everyone. So please check out the One Mesa Pledge. Over 700 businesses and individuals have signed on to this pledge. I'd encourage you to look at it if you haven't yet, and hopefully add your support to that important cause. The next topic, if you don't mind, that I'd like to talk about with regard to last year is Mesa in 2015 became, we were already a great place, but our ability to have fun and to play with one another and to recreate, well, I think really got a shot in the arm during the year 2015. We were able to open some great new parks. Here's a picture of the Desert Arroyo Park. This is very, very cool. It's out next to the Harris Elementary School in the east part of Mesa. It's a great place to bring relatives from out of town and help them to see the beauty of the environment and the desert in Mesa. Another great park that we opened was Desert Trails Park. You know, it used to be a generation or two ago, we'd love to open golf courses, and I still love golf courses, but nowadays, people want a place to go and ride their mountain bikes. I mean, things are changing, and I'm proud of our Mesa Parks and Recreation Department that we're responding to that and opened a great mountain bike park in Mesa. Along with these two parks, we opened or renovated 18 other additional parks last year in the city of Mesa. The same is going to be true in the year 2016. We have a great Parks and Rec bond, and we still have some money left in it, $35 million to be exact. So over the next year, we'll be spending that money on some significant renovations of 6 of our great parks. Greenfield Park in Councilmember Fincher's district is going to become a great urban fishing park. Pioneer Park, one of the classic big downtown parks, is going to get a $6 million facelift, and we'll have water features and really cool playgrounds. It's going to become really quite an attraction, much like Riverview Park is. The same is true for Eagles Park, Kleinman Park, Fiesta, and the new park at Signal Butte and Elliott. So look forward to additional great improvements in our Parks and Recreation program over this next year. Another thing that I've always taken a lot of pride in Mesa is our summer aquatics program. We've made some great additions to that over the past year, adding a great facility at Mesa High School called the Mesa Aquatics Center. There's a great picture of it. You can see it's not your boring old city swimming pool. We've got a lazy river and all kinds of really great water features. And this is, again, just an example of, I think, we try to be innovative. We try to give people in Mesa an opportunity to do some fun things. Our aquatic centers are not used just during the summertime. They're used year-round. So if you've ever driven by Keno or Skyline Pool in the middle of the winter and you've noticed there's swim meets and synchronized swimming things going on, you know, that's a big part of who we are and where we put our resources. One great example of this is the Pro Swim Series, the Arena Pro Swim Series, where Michael Phelps and other Olympians come to Mesa, and we're kind of the center of the universe in swimming more often than not. In addition to great things like swimming, another thing that we do is Mesa has become quite a place for festivals and for live music performances. With the renaissance that's gone on in our downtown area, we're a great place to hold festivals. And so this last year, there were over 60 major concerts in Mesa, in downtown and throughout the city, including the new Mesa Music Festival. Now those 60 concerts, that doesn't include the over 500 events that took place at the Mesa Arts Center last year. As you know, the Mesa Arts Center is really a world-class facility. A couple of years ago, it won an award for being the best venue in the world. The runner-up was a place they call the Sydney Opera House. Haven't been there, but I'm sure it's nice. If you haven't been to the Mesa Arts Center, I'm sure everybody has. But anyway, let's brag about the Mesa Arts Center. It really is a great amenity in our community. Thank you. Also, speaking of festivals in downtown, I'm really excited and proud of the event we had during the holidays called Merry Main Street. It was a month-long festival. Over 40,000 people came to downtown Mesa during the month of December. It included a lot of great stuff. Looking at that picture, would you have any idea that you're in Mesa, Arizona? Maybe not, huh? Well, it had a lot of great amenities, obviously an ice rink, food trucks, a huge Christmas tree, thanks again, Mesa Chamber of Commerce, and lots of other things. So I'm proud of the great job that we did in entertaining people during the holidays. And we can't talk about having fun in Mesa, I think, without mentioning spring training, right? I mean, it's just around the corner. It's got to be March anytime soon, right? Thanks to the Ho-Ho Cams who are here. We really appreciate the great work that they do in spring training. They might need some help, ladies and gentlemen, because as you know, we're the home of 2 great ballparks for the Oakland Athletics and the Chicago Cubs. That's a huge job to manage games literally every day for the month of March. Last year, we set records in our attendance. Over 332,000 fans attended our ball games in the city of Mesa last year. We joke around in spring training calling it Christmas in March because of the economic impact. But literally, last year, the sales tax revenue in March was more than it was in December. So it really does have a significant economic impact in our city. So if you want to be a part of spring training, please see my friends at the Ho-Ho camps. They're great. The Ho-Ho camps, by the way, contribute hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in the proceeds from their work to the youth sports programs in the city of Mesa. So they're a wonderful organization, and they do a wonderful job in our community. So we've talked about having fun in Mesa, but I know politicians are often reminded that it's about the economy, stupid, right? So I'm not as stupid as I might appear, so let's talk about the economy in Mesa, Arizona. Again, I think it's evident that we are emerging from the downturn. We've really seen a change and an uplift in our economy in the city of Mesa. There's serious signs of growth, not just in the housing areas, but all around, in all of the economic centers of our city. Here's a great number for you. I don't want to bore anybody with numbers, but try to remember this one. Last year in the city of Mesa, we added to the economy 8,700 jobs. That's, again, another great sign that our economy is doing well and that this is a vibrant community that people are anxious to be a part of. Of course, we're very excited that this is the year that Apple comes to Mesa, Arizona and makes a $2 billion investment in our community at this building, at the corner of Signal Butte and Elliott. So we're very excited about that. They will be moving in later this year. Another great business, Go Financial. Maybe not everyone knows about Go Financial, but they relocated to Mesa and consolidated with a couple hundred new jobs, bringing to a total 500 the jobs that they offer in our community. Other great employers. We talk about Able, it seems like a lot, but there's news at Able Engineering out at the Gateway Airport. They were recently acquired by the parent company of Bell Helicopter named Textron. Textron is one of the behemoths in the aerospace industry. That acquisition is going to allow Able some significant capital that will allow them to add more jobs and continue to grow in a very large way. As long as we're speaking about Gateway Airport, I see my friend Mayor Lewis here, who serves with me on the Gateway Airport Authority. That's a great example of regional cooperation with our neighbors. Gateway is doing very, very well. Over 1.2 million passengers went through Gateway Airport last year. Allegiant continues to add more and more destinations. This year they added Memphis, Fresno, and Des Moines, bringing to 37 the number of nonstop destinations that you can get to from the airport in Mesa, Arizona. Again, out of Gateway, another big asset is the ASU Poly campus. That is thriving and doing very, very well. We're very excited about Poly because adjacent to and part of Poly is a 300-acre business park. Anyone who's is familiar with Tempe, Mayor Mitchell can come up and give me an amen on this one. Will tell you that the ASU Research Park is doing very, very well in Tempe and in fact has now reached capacity. That's good news for Mesa because the next ASU Research Park is located in Mesa. So we're going to continue to see a lot of growth, a lot of new and exciting businesses attracted to Mesa out at the 300-acre ASU Business Park. Shifting gears a little bit, maybe from Gateway, let's go to Riverview for just a moment. Riverview is doing very, very well as well. ATS, American Traffic Solutions, just moved into that building with 500 new jobs. There's another building across the parking lot of equal size that's under construction as well. And out at Gateway, we're at Riverview, the Sheraton Hotel that you saw earlier on the video is doing very, very well. Even before spring training, they're at full capacity in their conference rooms and their hotel rooms, and they're doing very, very well. They've already announced an expansion of that facility. And they are joining a very robust hotel industry that we have, a hotel and tourism business in Mesa. Moving now to perhaps the Fiesta District that I teased you about a little bit earlier with talking about the Vice Mayor's District. The Fiesta District is really knocking out of the park. There's a lot of activity going on in the Fiesta District. The buildings that you're seeing behind me, these are buildings that were once, there you go, that was an old Bed Bath & Beyond. This is an interesting, this is not a Mesa situation, but globally and certainly around the nation, we have this economic challenge of all these 20th century big box retails. What do you do with them in today's day and age? Well, I think Mesa's on the cutting edge of answering that problem. This building was converted into an employment center, and Santander moved over 1,000 new jobs into Mesa, into this building. Across the street, National General did the same in another building, bringing to, just in the month of November, nearly 2,000 new jobs came to Mesa, Arizona between these two buildings. That model of taking large retail buildings that have kind of lived their useful life and turning them into employment centers is being duplicated across the street at the Fiesta Mall. Currently, Macy's is under demolition. The other big boxes will follow, and that will, here's a picture of Fiesta Mall, what it's going to look like. It's going to become an employment center. So these are exciting developments, and I think are a great example of Mesa responding to what is a national problem of what do we do with these buildings in our new economy. Another great part of town that I'd love to, I'm not doing any of these places the service that they deserve, but let me give you just a quick overview. Dana Park is one of my favorite places in Mesa. It has a huge collection of great restaurants, great retail. It's very vibrant. It's a great asset in our community. The folks who own Dana Park have announced a $100 million renovation and facelift of Dana Park. So as good as it is now, you're going to see additional retail, movie theaters, upscale housing, hotels will all be added to that already very successful part of town. Continuing to move around our city, that's my bald spot right there, in case you're wondering. Let's talk for a little bit about the Falcon Field area. Falcon has all of the same assets as Gateway, next to a wonderful and very successful airport, a great freeway access, and it really is a great opportunity for additional economic development. This is a picture of Special Devices, which is making a $25 million improvement to their facility and adding new employees. We recently cut the ribbon of a new terminal at the Falcon Field Airport. That's beautiful and will make that already very busy airport even busier, I'm sure. We've also rebranded the Falcon District. This is what you'll see going forward in Falcon. This kind of highlights the things that Falcon is particularly good at, which is aerospace, defense, manufacturing, and technology. So we're excited to see, to use that in marketing this. The city is going to roll up its sleeves and actually become a player out of the Falcon Field area as well. You may know that the city owns a lot of the citrus that buffers the airport. We are going to start developing that property as part of the Citrus Grove Tech Park. So you'll see, again, new jobs, new businesses moving into the Falcon Field area. Again, on our little economic tour of the city, let's talk about the downtown. This is one of my passions. As a kid, I grew up in downtown Mesa, and I'm anxious to see it return to the vibrant economic area that it once was. It's almost there. Of course, the big transformative event, one of the biggest things to happen in the history of downtown Mesa, is the arrival of light rail. And that was, here's a picture from this last August when we opened light rail in downtown Mesa. I have to admit, when I was on the city council back in the 1990s and when the idea of light rail first came up, and I remember being somewhat pessimistic as to whether or not this was something that was really going to work out well. I can't tell you how delighted I am to have been wrong about something. Light rail has proven to be a very, very good source of transportation. Prior to the opening of the rail through downtown, Mesa was the busiest station out at Sycamore Station on the whole line. We had over 95,000 users of light rail per month in the city of Mesa. Since adding the new 4 stations in downtown Mesa, that ridership has nearly doubled. We're going from 95,000 people a month using it to over 180,000 people a month using the light rail in Mesa, Arizona. So it's very successful. If anyone has a complaint about the light rail, Mayor Smith, where are you? He's here, okay. Scott Smith is now responsible. If anybody left anything on a car or anything, you can talk to him. So again, it's been, as successful as light rail has been as a transportation system, ladies and gentlemen, it's been, I would say, equally or more successful as an economic redevelopment system. Throughout the downtown corridor, property values are rising. The phone is ringing off the hook at City Hall about people who want to come to downtown Mesa, want to be a part of the light rail, want to develop property in downtown Mesa. I'd love to show you a quick video that kind of highlights the status of light rail in downtown Mesa. Great. Well, as you can see, we had a great year in 2015. But if you don't mind, let's focus our attention now going forward. As exciting and as great as the last year was, I have to tell you, in all sincerity, that I'm convinced that Mesa's best days lie ahead of us as a community, and we really have a lot to look forward to. Mesa's going to continue to grow, it's going to continue to improve, and I think if we focus on those things that are most important to us, our core values, as we direct that growth, we're going to be able to get to that next level as a community, or the next Mesa. Previously, we talked a little bit about what I would call one of our core values, which is compassion for other people. But I'd like to talk about another one, if you don't mind. And the way that I arrived at this is by asking myself the question that I'd pose to you as well. Why do you live in Mesa? Think about that for a little while. I'm sure we all have an answer to that. What is it about Mesa that drew you here? Why do you choose to do business or live in Mesa? I can tell you, for my family, my parents moved here. What attracted them was our education system. They knew that this was a great place to raise a family because of the priority that was placed on education as a value in our community. I have to tell you, that's the same reason that my wife and I chose to stay and raise our children in Mesa. We knew that they would get a great start if they were raised in Mesa, Arizona, because it's a community that values education and places a lot of emphasis and support on that. And that remains to be true. Mesa is if you look at our K-12 systems, Mesa has a disproportionate number of, when compared with the rest of the state, of A+ schools. This is a great place to get an education. Earlier we mentioned the fact that Mesa was recently named by Time.com as the best big city in the Southwest United States. If you read that article, the reason behind that selection was Mesa's great schools and the fact that this is a great place to raise a family for that reason. Every year, Mesa kids, when they graduate, get a huge number of scholarships, and we get to send a lot of very elite students to a lot of very elite schools. And so we're proud of that. That's who we are as a community. It's not true, I mean, it's true not only of our K-12 system, but also of our higher ed system. I was pleased to shake the hand of Mesa Community College table and Dr. Pan a moment ago. Mesa Community College, this last year celebrated its 50th anniversary in Mesa. It's one of the largest, thank you. Yeah. In case you were wondering where the Mesa Community College table is, it's right over there. One of the largest community colleges in the country, and Dr. Pan just a moment shared with me that the Aspen Institute just named them one of the very best community colleges in the country. So congratulations to that great award. Speaking of higher ed, we have a great program in Mesa that's a partnership between Mesa Community College, the City of Mesa, and Mesa Public Schools called Mesa Counts on College. If you're not aware of this, I would invite you to really help us with this. This is our effort at helping kids post-high school get into some sort of formal education, whether it's college, university, trade, something, to help them prepare economically for their futures. And Mesa Counts on College is a big priority. This fills the gap. You know, K-12 is doing great, but at the we support those systems, but at the beginning and the end, there's a role for the community to play. So we're trying to help the post-secondary people. So again, I have to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're doing great in the area of education. As a parent, I've got 3 of my 5 kids here. They either have or they've got a great education by coming up through Mesa. But it's important that we maintain that legacy. And I have to tell you that I've become concerned as of late in talking with Dr. Cowan and some of our other leaders in the K-12 system, that this legacy of ours, this thing that makes Mesa what it is, the thing that attracts you and me to come to this community, that legacy is threatened to some extent. Dr. Cowan has told me about some troubling trends. A lot of our Mesa neighborhoods are under a lot of economic stress, and the number of Title I schools in Mesa continues to climb and climb. These are the schools that have high percentages of free and reduced lunch. Another very discouraging trend is the assessments that are given to kindergarten kids as they show up in our schools. What it's showing is, again, a trend in a bad direction. A lot of these kids are showing up, frankly, lacking the skills to even register a failing score on these assessments. So it creates a situation that I think that requires some of our attention as a community. This is particularly troubling when you think that we've learned now that over 90% of a child's brain development occurs prior to he or she reaching the age of 5 years old. So this is a challenge that I think our community needs to respond to. Why should we care? Why is the mayor talking about education? Why is this something that is being discussed outside of a school board meeting? Well, I would tell you I would say there's 2 reasons. The first, and maybe the most compelling reason, is just on a human level. These are our kids. We love them. We want what's best for them. We want them to be successful, and then education is an important part of that. The second, and maybe more selfish reason, is economic. As a community, we are not going to thrive. We are not going to continue to attract employers if we have a workforce that isn't robust and isn't famous for being capable of responding to the economic challenges that we have. My job as mayor, and the job of our economic development people in the city of Mesa, is to attract talent to Mesa, Arizona. We need new employers. We need people to bring jobs and exciting businesses here. So I think the situation is not unlike my predecessor, Mayor Kleinman, experienced back in 1921. It's time for us to respond to this great need. And there's a call to action that needs to be, I think, issued in our community. This is not a problem that can or should be addressed exclusively by Mesa City government or by the schools. It's got to include the business community. It's got to include the faith community. It's got to include our entire community working together to respond to this issue. Our first step as a city government in responding to this was to form an early childhood education task force. And we're fortunate that Councilmember Luna, who's a PhD in education, was obviously the right person to lead us in this very important task. He assembled a group of 13 exceptional leaders, including leaders in education and business and philanthropy, to look at the status of early childhood education in Mesa. They have met several times. They've been very thorough in examining where we're at, and they've issued a report that's available on our website. I'd encourage you to look at it. And what they found is that there, in fact, is a significant need for additional resources, additional opportunities for pre-K in our community. Going forward, they're going to continue to meet and make recommendations that, again, we as a community need to be mindful of and find a way to respond to this important problem. So please stay tuned. There's going to be more discussion on this topic later. So while this gap of pre-K is, again, very important and worthy of our time and attention, it's not, again, I think, that, and K to 12, our school districts are doing a great job. We love them and we support them and we'll do all we can to help fund them. There's also a gap at the post-12 area. And that's, again, a place that the city, I think, can play a role. I think everyone's familiar with the initiative that we've been conducting in the city of Mesa for the last several years to attract more post-secondary education opportunities to our community. In our Center for Higher Education, we have, for example, the Wilkes University. They're doing extremely well and offer a variety of undergrad programs. Also, Upper Iowa has come to Mesa. They've just recently partnered with our EVIT campus and are doing very well. Benedictine University is doing extremely well. I know we've got a very enthusiastic table of Benedictine folks here. Benedictine has over 340 students, and here's an indication of how committed they are to our community. They have 10 great sports teams. If you want to watch a college sports team, Benedictine is the place to go. Next year, it'll be 14 great sports teams. And Benedictine has authorized me to make a little announcement, and as we appreciate them, but as a reflection of their appreciation of the community, they are announcing the Mesa Scholarship. This is a $3,000 annual scholarship that will be made available to all dependents, all children of Mesa City employees and Mesa Public School employees. So that's a very generous thank you to our community. Thank you for what you're doing. But we're not done yet, ladies and gentlemen. We want to continue to offer great options in our higher education program in our city of Mesa. I'm here to announce an exciting new expansion of the higher education opportunities in the city of Mesa. And to do that, I'd like to invite a special guest to come forward and help me make this announcement. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in case you don't know who this is Sparky. All right. Thank you, Sparky. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Sparky and I are here. Sparky, let's step here so people can see who you are. Sparky and I, if you haven't guessed, or if you don't read maybe the Arizona Republic, Sparky and I are here to announce a very exciting news that we are working together to bring Arizona State University to downtown Mesa, Arizona. Dr. Crowe, I know, wanted to be here himself to help make this important announcement, but apparently he has to go to Board of Regents meetings, so that's where he is right now. But he has prepared some remarks on video that we'd like to show at this time.
So one of the exciting things the last few years that I've been able to be here in Arizona, leading Arizona State University, is to work with the leadership in the community of Mesa. We've done this with our Polytechnic campus, which has emerged as one of the leading centers for a new way to advance teaching and learning. It's been a fantastic experience. Our relationship with the city has been fantastic. It's been really one of the great pleasures that I've had is to build this relationship. Mesa also is a leading center for innovation, I think, in the United States, a very successful educational system in the Mesa public school system, the attraction of fantastic businesses to the Mesa community, the success of the Mesa Community College. All these things together make Mesa a really important thing for the building of Arizona and a really important thing for the future of Arizona State University. We're very excited after years of discussions with Mayor Giles. We're really excited to now be able to take the leap and say that we're committed to being a part of the redevelopment strategy for downtown Mesa. We're committed to ASU having a physical presence and an organizational presence and a creativity presence in downtown Mesa. We're committed to continuing our strategy of one university in many places. We're committed to the future of the development of Mesa as one of America's great cities, and we're excited about that. The mayor's done a fantastic job bringing us to the point where we can now say we're ready to move forward. Now we've got to finish working out the details, which we'll do in the near future, and we're all in.
Folks, Mesa is home to some great brands. It's for example, Boeing. We're very excited that Boeing is part of Mesa. It's one of the best companies in the world, 5,000 employees. Apple is one of the great brands that's in Mesa. It's probably one of the most admired, if not the most admired companies in the world. ASU fits right into that branding. ASU, as you know, was recently ranked the #1 most innovative university in the country. Harvard and MIT and Stanford were on that list, but further down. ASU is the largest university in the country. It is an organization that has nationwide and global impact. It truly is one of the best organizations that we could hope to partner with. To me, the connection and the fit between Arizona State University and downtown Mesa is a great fit. It's very obvious. It's like peanut butter and chocolate. I mean, these are two things that were meant for each other. When ASU comes downtown, we're going to have 24/7 activity, utilizing our light rail. We're going to have a lot of great people doing a lot of great things in downtown Mesa, which is exactly what we need. So again, I'm excited that later this month, our city council on its agenda will be adopting a memorandum of understanding to explore what we can do to work together to make sure that this is a successful partnership. But we couldn't be more excited. And ASU, thank you so much. You're a world-class institution, and we really appreciate all that you're willing to do for the city of Mesa. In conclusion, ladies, well, thank you. In conclusion, I would say, and maybe I forgot to mention this earlier, but I think the state of Mesa is great, but let's get better. We have opportunities when we focus on our core values to really take our city to another level. And I hope that you'll join me in doing that. It's not the kind of thing that a mayor or a city council or a city government can do without engagement from the community, from the business community and others. So I would invite you to please join us and help us in this quest to take what is already a very good city to the next level. If we do that, if we can engage with one another to do that, I'm sure Mesa will remain a top choice for families like yours and mine to grow our families and to grow our businesses. 2016 is going to be a great year. It's going to be one of our best. So thank you very much for being here, and let's go take Mesa to the next Mesa. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us for the Mayor's State of the City Breakfast, presented by the Mesa Chamber of Commerce.